Back to Law and Crime. This just in for Young Thug racketeering case. We have got a decision by a judge outside of that of Judge Glanville that he is now recused. I have literally just gone over the motion now, and I'm going to go over it with you myself bit by bit. Starting first with the finding of facts. We all know what the facts were. There was an ex parte, meaning one of the parties, that being all of the defense attorneys, were not present for this meeting with Kenneth Copeland. Judge Glanville, along with the prosecution and Kenneth Copeland's attorney, had this in-chambers meeting talking about him pleading the fifth for about four pages. So about four or so pages, just the facts as we remember them. This meeting happened. Glanville went back and forth deciding, is this person going to testify? You cannot plead the fifth. The prosecution, as we saw the transcripts that were later released, kept pressing. You've got immunity. You cannot be prosecuted for this in any way, shape, or form, and that means you have to testify. Ultimately, that meeting was not expressed in detail to the defense until Brian Steele, the defense attorney for Young Thug, raised this issue. Following that, multiple defense attorneys filed motions for recusal. Now, moving on from the facts, going to the law. The legal framework for what a recusal requires. There are three criteria that needs to happen. Those being, the motion needs to be timely, needs to be supported by an affidavit, and the facts alleged need to show that a recusal might be warranted. Now, to the first two parts, Judge Glanville himself said that this is timely. When the defense found an issue, they brought it up. The second part, he said that there's an affidavit that was filed. Good. But the reason why Judge Glanville himself said that he's denying the recusal is because he argued that the facts alleged did not warrant a recusal, that they did not meet that threshold. However, he ultimately passed this case on to another judge, and this is the judge's analysis and discussion. It's just a quick. Rachel Krause, who was given this case to decide the recusal, ultimately decides. They continue by saying that this court has no doubt that Judge Glanville can and would continue presiding fairly over this matter if the recusal motions were denied, but, and going on to quote here, the necessity of preserving the public's confidence in the judicial system weighs in favor of excusing Judge Glanville from further handling of this case. And this is the decision. Based on the foregoing, this court hereby orders the following. 1. Defendant DeMonte Kendrick's motion for recusal of the Chief Judge Yearville is granted. 2. Caleb Bumpus' motion to quash the show cause order or for the recusal of Judge Glanville is denied as moot meaning that it's no longer an issue, and that the defendant Jeffrey Williams' motion to disqualify or recuse Judge Glanville for all further dealings in the above referenced case as amended and supplemented is granted. The court clerk shall reassign this case using the court's case assignment procedures. This is the order of the judge as of the 15th of July for the year of 2024.
A motion for a mistrial that they hope to have filed by the end of the week.
They have lost sight of the duties of a prosecutor.
That's attorney Doug Weinstein.
I am the attorney for Diamante Kendrick, also known as Yak Gotti.
Young Thug's co-defendant in one of the country's most watched trials. Weinstein claiming
we've seen some bias from the judge.
Arguing the private meeting last month between Judge Glanville, prosecutors, and their sworn witness, Lil Woody, was the final straw.
We wouldn't have filed this motion if we didn't believe it should be granted.
Their motion
granted is you have to rewind the case to June the 12th. How do you unhear days of testimony? How do you take notes away from the jury? It's impossible. We're going to be filing a motion for a mistrial based on the conduct of the prosecutors in this case.
Now,
yo, it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in and had to bring it inside real quick. Bunch of noise was going on outside, and I didn't want the microphone on the camera to pick everything up, and y'all wouldn't be able to hear me. But it broke into the news yesterday, as y'all seen right there. Young Thug judge in the YSL State Rico case has been officially taken off, and it's going to be going into another judge's hands, and they don't even have an exact date yet. And I had a links in the description where you can watch the clips in the beginning in full from the Law and Crime Network with Law and Crime Trials and 11 Alive out of Atlanta. They both broadcast and give everything in real time as it's going on throughout the day. They've been inside the courtrooms with the camera running. And as we've seen, this case right here has been a super duper long process. It's all over the place. We've seen everything from a situation where people then got arrested inside the courtroom. We done seen different lawyers get arrested while the trial go on. Other people who decided not to take the plea deal, cases get separated. It's just been a whole lot of chaos going on, even to the point Hulu jumped out there real quick, tried to put a documentary out on it, and it ain't even really got halfway done yet, to our understanding, because we don't know everything that's going on. And no matter how you slice the pie, this YSL State Rico case, which has became and is a hip hop documented situation because of YSL being a big rap group and everything like that, got ties to Donald Trump in Fulton County, as he was indicted there as well by the same district attorney, Fonnie Willis. Now, everything got kicked off when we seen Young Thug's lawyer, Brian Steele, call out Judge Uri Glanville in court and say you had an ex parte meeting. And I'm not a dude who know everything. I'm learning this stuff in real time with some of y'all. Some people are already hip. Well, y'all had a meeting with Lil Woody already, and we wasn't privy to that information. We wasn't told about that. So y'all ain't handling this properly. That's what they was pushing. Other lawyers was pushing this as well. Well, we got to this situation. He was denying them. Then it came out, well, we're going to send it to another judge. And that judge, as y'all heard right there, did say she don't feel like he would be doing anything wrong, but for the public and everybody to know that this is a fair case, we will go to another judge. And they went to Shakira Ingram, and the write-up says this: Glanville was recused from the case after weeks of contention between the judge and defense attorneys. Motions for his recusal were filed after an ex parte meeting between the judge, prosecutors from the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, and state witness Kenneth Copeland came to light. Although the judge who reviewed the motions wrote in her decision that she believed Glanville could continue to preside fairly over the trial, the necessity of preserving the public's confidence in the judicial system weighed in favor of excusing Glanville from further handling of the case. June 17th was the last day that testimony was heard in the case. The trial was put on hold on the 100th day of the trial until the recusal motion could be heard. At this time, the fate of the trial and its defendants is unknown. It is expected that the defense attorneys will file for mistrial. The new judge will also have to decide if the trial should move forward and whether it should pick up where it left off or start over. And man, 100 days in on the trial, we seen how long the process was for the jury selection. I don't think nobody trying to start over in this at all. That's just me on the outside looking in of this and everything like that. But what I will say at the same time, when you get into these type of situations, do your best to avoid them. Everybody on this trial is innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. They have their trial and their judgment and things. I'm just speaking in general, inside the culture, inside the community, the people. Dog, we can't speak on their situation. Separate this from that right now. We done seen this process go on years and years and years and years and years, bro. This ain't it for us. This ain't it for the culture. This ain't it for the people. You don't want to have to go down to this courtroom every day for them to decide your fate in the world. Should he be free? Should he be in prison? Should he be inside a cage? Because that ain't what nobody supposed to be in, bro. That ain't what your mama want. That ain't what your daddy want. That ain't what your kids want. They want to be able to be out here and touch you, show love to you, bro. It's people that care about you out here. Don't ever crash out. I understand if you got to hustle and get your paper. I can't put no food on nobody's table. I ain't rich, so I can't tell you how to go get it. But just know the consequences that come with it and avoid that mix. Avoid the shootouts. Protect yourself, of course. That's for anybody in the world. You ain't got to be in the streets to understand that. That's overstood. But crashing out, all of the stuff that can be avoid it, because you ain't trying to go through nothing like this, bro. Tell me what you think. We got more coming, more videos, all at 1,000 for shit show. Stay on your pivot.